Hi. Hello. Good morning. Afternoon.
Good noon.
Good noon. Good noon. Hello, everybody. My name is Kate, and this is Hal here, the lovely.
Hi.
And we are from Bologna Mille, my English school. Would you like to introduce yourself, Hal?
Well, thank you. I'm Hal. I'm from the UK originally, a little suburb of London called Woking. The actual village is called West Byfleet, and it's just west of another village called Byfleet. And Byfleet is just south of Woking. Woking is southwest of London.
Okay.
So that's where I'm from. It's a land of golf courses, money, and no taste.
Hooray!
Hooray! Just like me. And no, hopefully not. Surrey, good old Surrey. And I've been in Bologna now for, 6, 7 months. I don't really know. I kind of don't want to count the last 2 months. So can I just say like 5 real months?
And then like 2 quarantine months.
Right, and then I'm living in a little universe of my apartment, and then I can start counting again afterwards.
There you go. That's perfect.
There is some kind of afterwards. There will be.
There
will be. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Well, that's Hal. I will also introduce myself. And so my name is Kate. I'm originally from the United States of America, but I've been in Italy for almost 4 years now. I live in a small town called San Giovanni in Persiceto, which is about 20 minutes north of Bologna, and I'm originally from a lot of places, the East Coast of America, and then the West Coast. But I tell everybody I'm from Portland because I lived in Portland for about 4 years. So I'm from Portland.
Oh, that's not as long as I thought. 4 years, okay. So
yeah,
where,
I wish I had
else were you? All over the place.
Maryland, Delaware, various places in Maryland, and Washington State for a little while as well. So yeah, I was a little bit of what we call a vagabond, somebody
Love it.
Yeah, who sort of just is everywhere.
Yeah.
And now I'm here, and this is my home, so it's lovely to meet all of you. Ta-da.
Why did you move to Italy? I've never asked you that.
What a long story that is. I will spare you the long story, but
okay, one day. I want the long story one day. In a nutshell.
I had fallen in love with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
I met him in 2012, but we did not speak for a little while. And then we fell back in love, and the timing was right. And so I moved here to marry him. I had never visited Italy before. Wow. I just decided that Italy was the place for me, and that I had never met him in person, but that he was the person for me. And I've never been happier in my life. So.
Wow, I was about to swear. Wow. that's huge. Sugar. Cool.
Yeah. So trust your instincts, everybody.
Yeah.
They're important. So we have a question for you guys. Here it is. Why don't you read that for me, Hal?
Do you enjoy attending formal events? Why or why not? And we should say attending in English means going to to go to an event. So do you enjoy attending formal events? Why or why not?
Go ahead. What do you think, Hal?
I have, I can give quite a detailed answer because my university where I did my undergrad was Oxford, and there were so many formal events there. It really is a bit of a cliche. For example, at my college, it was absurd. You can tell my attitude, I think. At my college, every evening, you could have dinner in hall, they called it, which was in this big, grand dining hall. In my college, when I was there, you didn't need to dress up formally, but you had to wear a gown to go and eat dinner there. Yeah, you had to wear a gown over whatever you were wearing. And then on Fridays, they had a special evening dinner. What was it called? I can't even remember. Which was like a 5-course dinner. The thing is, it was really affordable. Well, it wasn't affordable if you did it all the time. It's affordable relative to the usual cost of a 5-course dinner. It was like 15 quid or something, 15 pounds. And for that, you had to wear formal. It was like black tie or suit. And then in the summer as well, there would be balls every year. Colleges had these huge balls which was usually white tie. I went to one because I helped organize it, and therefore you can go for free. They're really expensive. So I was kind of at the age of, how old was I, 18, thrown into this ludicrous land. I come from like middle class being a very important thing in the UK. But this was another order of formality, stuffiness. It's something stuffy, right? It's like uncomfortably constraining. Yeah, it like makes you feel uncomfortable because you don't have your own space. So it was very stuffy. And looking back, I adapted quite well. But at the end, I remember saying to somebody, a friend of mine, who we'd had a similar experience, I remember saying to him, oh, we changed quite a lot in order to fit. But there were loads of people there who just didn't even blink, because for them, this level of formality was totally normal. They had come through that, and this was kind of what they expected. Whereas for me, it was very strange. Even though I can't deny at times it was quite fun, at other times I found it really heavy and oppressive, and just strange, most of all, looking back. Like now, I don't like attending formal events, but I spent like 4 years going along to these things quite a lot.
Yeah, wow.
So there, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know any of that, but it makes perfect sense in context. Yeah, I would relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh. For me, okay, so I enjoy it a little bit, but I always know that I'm sort of the odd man out. Like I went on my honeymoon with my husband, and I'll say that in the chat as well. Odd man out. It means the person who does not fit with the setting. Okay. Exactly. So I always feel like the odd man out. Ta-da! So what does this mean? For example, when I went on my honeymoon with my husband, we got like a package for a 5-star hotel up in Alto Adige, and it was called the Alpen Palace. So I went there, and on the first night of staying there, typically they have like a gala, and I had forgotten to pack formal clothes. So I attended this like a black tie gala in a hoodie and jeans.
Okay.
And I did my best to try to pretend to be some young eccentric with lots of money.
Like an artist, and I don't even care. Yeah,
exactly. But I always feel like even when I try, I mean, I had a similar experience as well over New Year's, where my parents really wanted to go to the Grand Hotel Baglioni, which in Bologna is the most expensive Grand Hotel I think there is. Right on the Independenza. And they just wanted to spend a single night and then have like the formal dinner in the hotel. So but at the last minute they canceled, and I don't know why. And so they insisted we take their place. So my husband and we went to the hotel, and we ended up having the dinner instead. And I mean, my mother made sure I was like completely dressed, like immaculately,
quote unquote presentable, as people say.
Indeed. I mean, I did get a big compliment from the sommelier, who said that I was the most beautiful woman there. But I mean, it's in Italy, so we can take that as
take it with a pinch of salt, no?
With a pinch of salt. But the sommelier was female, so.
Oh, okay, that definitely counts more. Yeah.
It's countable. So, it was a wonderful experience.
How did you feel?
Very out of place.
out of place.
I felt like, and this is another expression, a fish out of water. Out of water. Yeah, when you feel out of place. So for me, it was a great experience, but the food was strange in very small portions. A lot of it didn't taste that great. I felt like I didn't fit with the people around me. And it was just, yeah. So for maybe every so often, but I think the most formal I'll go is like a wedding of my own choice, because the rest of the time I just know that everybody's looking at me like, you don't belong here. And I feel
Yeah, and sometimes, like you said about being on your honeymoon, sometimes you can, if you have the energy you can be bothered to kind of be like, oh, I'm the odd one out, but that's okay because I'm just doing my own thing. That's fine, but it takes a lot of energy and kind of, it's very tiring and not that fun to do that.
Yeah.
And so often, especially if you're on your own, it's sometimes the times that I've had fun in those strange settings is usually because there's someone with me who I love, who is also a fish out of water. And then you can kind of make a thing of it, like, oh, we don't care. This is kind of absurd. But if you're on your own, or you feel alone in that situation, no,
it's bad. Fun. Yeah, exactly. And I would not recommend that. No. Okay. But yes, in general, I feel like I had another story, but it's gone. Maybe it'll come back up later.
It'll come back to you, maybe.
Hopefully, possibly. Okay, so that was our question. If you are just joining us, please remember to introduce yourselves and let us know if you enjoy formal events or not. And we are going to get started. So,
great.
Ta-da! Da-da-da-da. Okay. Hal, can you read that for me?
Sure thing. Dining etiquette. In this focus activity, tea time etiquette and vocabulary, and fine dining etiquette and vocabulary.
Fantastic. All right. So let's learn about some fine dining.
Fine dining.
Fine dining. Go ahead and read.
Can I read? Yeah. Sure. What do we mean when we talk about dining etiquette? Can you think of some examples of good and bad dining etiquette? Have you ever been to a fancy dinner? When? And do you know the difference between high tea and afternoon tea? Cool.
I have done this before, so I know the difference between.
I do now, yeah.
Yeah. You as well. You didn't know before.
No, I didn't know before. But I did know, because one thing that is definitely true, I think it's on another slide, is that tea, especially in the north of the UK, can just refer to dinner, evening meal. Because when I moved to Manchester, it actually happened to me a few times. I was invited round to like a friend's house for tea at like 6 or 7 p.m. And I was confused, and I thought they meant come for a cup of tea. And I would go, and then there would be a meal, and I was like, okay. Because in the South, you don't say that. You say dinner, maybe supper if you're very proper.
Posh.
Yeah, posh. Yeah. But I didn't know about high tea and afternoon tea until this.
There you go. Okay, that's very interesting. Okay. Yeah, as an American, as an ex-American, I should say, I have divorced America. We are not together anymore. But yeah, as an ex-American, this is all alien to me. This is, yeah, if something is alien, that's a good one. Alien.
Yeah, it's alien to me.
Yeah. It is something that is very unfamiliar. Okay, so let's talk about some examples of good and bad dining etiquette. Can you think of any examples of bad dining etiquette?
Yeah, absolutely. So my dad's parents, my grandparents on my dad's side, when they were still around, they were difficult people, and they were, for some reason, really into etiquette, especially at the dining table. And one thing they used to tell us, I remember when I was tiny, is elbows on the table. No. like we used to get told if we put our elbows on the table. So that's an example technically of bad dining etiquette. I love putting my elbows on the table. I don't care. I understand. I think it comes from the idea that if you're sitting with like a lot of people and everyone does this, you can't see other people. It's a bit rude because you kind of can't talk to people. But in general, if I'm with like friends or just with a small group, I love to like, I have terrible posture, so I kind of tend to slouch on the table or on the chair or elbows all over the place.
But
But
oh my God,
it is bad etiquette, technically.
you're so tall that like I imagine you're like draped over a table.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
ugh,
Yeah, it goes quite far.
like a big noodle and a turtleneck.
Noodle in a turtleneck, slumped on a table, forgetting my grandparents' instructions from when I was a kid.
Ah,
But yeah, they used to complain all the time about elbows on the table. Was that a thing when you were growing up?
yes, it was. It's the same also in America. They say no elbows on the table, no chewing with your mouth full, or sorry,
Sure.
speaking.
Open.
Yeah,
speaking.
there we go. No speaking with your mouth full or chewing with your mouth open. I just took those two and I sort of fused them together.
Makes sense.
Chewing with your mouth
Together, they would don't chew with your mouth open whilst you're speaking. No, don't do that.
Oh,
That's terrible. Yeah, that's another big one. That's huge. What else? Oh, I guess starting, like you should wait until, well, I mean, if you're talking like proper etiquette, right? Like I remember at university, we were supposed to wait until there was like a high table is what we called it. So there was the table at the end of the hall up on a little platform that had the professors on it. And they came in last and then they would sit down and then you would sit down and then they would start eating, then you would start eating. Ugh. So you're supposed to wait, right, for the most kind of senior or, yeah, the host, I guess, host to start eating for you to start, which again, I think is a bit ridiculous, but I think it's sometimes nice. Like it kind of makes sense sometimes if someone is just coming, it's nice to kind of wait and then we go. But usually if I have people over, I'll be like, please start your food because it's going to get cold and I'm serving it. Yeah. But you are supposed to wait.
Yes, apparently. Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Is it a thing in Italy?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I have violated that rule several times at my mother's house, but she's so kind, and this is my husband's mother. I just call her my mother, but she's so kind that she doesn't mind, but I will have to sort of stop myself to become aware of everybody around me because sometimes I'm eating and then say, wait.
And it looks so good sometimes, right? You just want to eat.
Exactly. Yeah, it's amazing. And then she'll tease me and say like, "Are you in a hurry?" Like,
what's the hurry?
Nice. But at the same time, she's flattered because I mean, there's no higher compliment I think than someone who will break all the rules just to eat your cooking.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's cute. What else? Is there anything else that I can think of as well?
I mean, there's the nightmare of the like cutlery. Knowing when you're in a fancy place, like knowing which thing to use to eat what.
It's outside to in, right? And
but even though I know that, it still stresses me out if I sit down at a table and there's like more than 3 things in front of me. I'm like, oh no, I need to concentrate.
Me too.
Yeah, otherwise it can go a bit wrong.
Yeah.
That's also important, I guess. Yeah, what else? I feel like you're supposed to, I know we said elbows, but you're supposed to kind of sit properly as well. Like you can't really slouch in your chair or
you have to be
cross your legs or, you have to kind of sit upright, as we say.
Yeah, definitely. I slouch a lot. My posture is really, really bad.
Me too.
Which is probably why I have a few herniated discs in my back.
Wow.
So I have 2 in my lower back.
Really?
Yes, I have 2 herniated discs. I went to physical therapy, and then I didn't do anything I was supposed to do, and I need to go back. It's probably way worse now. Yay!
Did you just walk in and they saw your posture and they were like, it's your posture? I've
No.
not noticed your posture, by the way.
Oh,
Mine
thanks.
is like
Yeah, it's
this.
because I'm so little. I'm
Oh,
little.
sure.
Like,
Yeah, that makes sense. That's true. If you're taller, it's kind of more noticeable. Yeah.
I'm so close to the ground as it is that, like, I guess it's easy to miss.
Yeah.
But
I need to put my charger in. Sorry, one sec.
no, it's okay. Don't worry. While Hal is charging his laptop, I think, if you're just joining us, please introduce yourselves in the comment section and let us know if you, what are some good or bad examples of dining etiquette and the experiences you've had going to fancy dinners. Welcome back, Hal.
Thank you. My computer is refreshed.
It is happy.
Any other examples?
I don't really know.
It's kind of nice because clearly we're not the people to ask, which is
Yeah.
a good thing, I think.
Yeah,
we don't know.
We
There's
don't know.
probably hundreds that we're unaware of.
It's true.
Yep.
Even doing
No
some
idea.
research into the topic, you know, you really have to get in very deep if you want to become like an expert.
Yeah, there's probably loads of tiny little, I would call them social cues, so tiny little acts or things that you say that I've been doing wrong, and I just don't care. Often, one other thing is often at fancy dinners, really fancy dinners, there might be a toast as well, and you all have to stand up, make sure you have something in your glass.
I'm the one. Yeah. I'm the one in the corner that's already been drinking, like when you're not supposed to drink before the toast, and I've already like finished a glass, and I'm on my second glass.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
or I end up with like a kind of water glass because I've done the alcohol is finished, so I'm like, yeah, I've got water.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And what is the difference between high tea and afternoon tea? Now that we know, we know.
We know. Let us know if you know in the comments. Otherwise, we will tell you. Dun, dun.
Are there people out there? You're very quiet, guys.
Yeah, they're very quiet. We do have a few people. Hello, if you're watching us. Good to see you guys. I can't really see you, but I feel you in my heart. In my heart.
Exactly. To feel you in our hearts. Okay. Should we talk about teas?
Of course. Let's talk about teas. Hey.
Like I said, tea can be a meal.
Sorry, my upstairs neighbors are doing some strange
moving furniture.
Yeah.
Tea can be dinner in the north of England. But then maybe let's start with afternoon tea because it's the simplest one, I think. Like it's the one that everyone knows. Afternoon tea is like the fantasy of, like Alice in Wonderland style. You get a little stand with cakes on, also little maybe cucumber sandwiches. That's a classic with the crust cut off. And then they bring out the chinaware. And you have a cup and a saucer. We're going to see some pictures in a bit. And you pour out the tea. And you usually have it. Oh, also scones, right?
We also have a difference in pronunciation. So in America, we say scones.
Right, but also in the UK, famously, in the UK, it's famous. Scone and scone, people say both, and no one can agree which one is which. And no one even knows. I think I'm right in saying it's confusing because with most pronunciation in the UK, there's like a regional distinction or there's a distinction by class, right? Scone and scone is a mystery. We just want to hear, in the UK, everyone wants to know, what does the Queen say? Does she say scone or does she say scone?
Has she ever answered this question?
I don't think so. Hopefully on her deathbed, her last word will be
and the mystery will be solved.
Because it's very unclear as to which is like the received pronunciation, the correct pronunciation.
To be fair, I don't think the Queen will ever die.
Yeah, so we'll never know.
I'll never know.
Just go on and on. Anyway, but afternoon tea, yes, I forgot. Sandwiches, cakes, traditional meat, scones with cream and jam.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to put the cream on first and then the jam. I can't remember. Yeah.
We're
Have you
very
ever had a really nice like afternoon tea somewhere?
no.
No.
All of my British friends
Yeah.
are not afternoon tea havers.
Sure.
They drink
Sure.
lots of tea, but
Yeah.
I've never been invited to like a formal
Yeah.
tea.
It doesn't really. It's more like, nowadays. It's definitely more of a like a tourist thing, but also maybe if you're in the UK and you visit somewhere. So like I mean like tourists, not just people internationally, but it's not something you like make at home. You'll have a cup of tea, definitely at like 4 or 5, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't have a cup of tea with like a cake stand and sandwiches, unless you're really posh. But lots of holiday towns and stuff and hotels will do afternoon tea for people. So,
Yeah, that would be cute. Yeah, I'd like to
yeah.
have that. I just really like cucumber sandwiches, honestly. So that's sort of
Yeah,
what.
me too. It's got me thinking now.
Yeah, me too. And so I kind of just want that, really.
Mhm.
But I would violate all of the social etiquette. So I would just be like taking handfuls of cucumber sandwiches.
Go around the room, like the tea room, and take all the
All
cucumber sandwiches that you can get
well,
quietly.
oh my god, and I'm American, so like it would just be
Yeah, they'd be like, "What are you doing?"
like
You'd be
get
like,
out of the
"I need
country,
cucumber
go back.
sandwiches." And then high tea, we didn't know this, I don't think, before this
Mhm.
activity brought it into our lives, and I don't think I'll be seeing it again. High tea is wait, let me get this right. I've forgotten. I think I've forgotten.
It's like a dinner. It's like supper.
Right. Yeah. For
Mhm.
it says on the next slide, right, for children or for like poorer families after
Mm,
work. Yeah.
yeah, a
That's
kind
it.
of a kind of snack or a
Yeah.
kind of supper like thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. So why don't we take a look at that next slide then?
Sure.
Ta-da! Do you want to
Okay.
alternate and you want to start?
Yeah, sure thing. So tea, more more than just a drink. Hey, tea, as we all know, is a very popular drink in Great Britain. Tea is drunk frequently throughout the day. That's a weird passive, isn't it? Tea is drunk. It is drunk
Mhm.
frequently throughout the day. And when a friend or neighbor stops by for a visit, it's only polite to offer a cup of tea. That is absolutely true. Like, absolutely true. You go to someone's house, they put the kettle on. If they
Mhm.
don't do that, I don't know, you feel, well, they ask, they say, do you want a cup of tea? 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 Otherwise, you're like, am I allowed here? Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Like,
Am I welcome?
it's literally a way of saying like, it's good to see you, you're welcome. However, the word tea doesn't necessarily mean the hot beverage.
Hmm. Afternoon tea is what most people think of when they imagine tea time. A fancy table laid with a nice tea set and delicacies like scones and cucumber sandwiches. This tradition began with the wealthy class and was a great way to show off to other wealthy visitors.
That makes it sound so sort of fun and innocent. It was a great way to show off to other wealthy visitors. Look at my cucumber sandwiches. Here are my wonderful scones. And
Scones.
great. High tea was traditionally served between 4 and 7 p.m. and was the evening meal for the lower class and for children of wealthy families whose parents would have their dinner much later in the evening, so the children were put to bed.
Mm. Today, the word tea in Great Britain can mean a snack or a small meal.
Exactly. Also, we have a lovely expression, not my cup of tea,
I'll put this in the chat. Good,
which
good, good.
means it's I don't like it, it's not my thing, it's not something that appeals to me. Usually you're sort of saying, okay, that's great, you enjoy that, but it's not for me. No,
Yeah.
not my cup of tea.
When
I don't know, yeah, that's when you're not interested in something. It's not your thing.
okay. Yeah, exactly. Ta-da! It's not my cup of tea. When something is okay objectively, but you're not interested in it personally.
Right, it's nice because you're not judging it. You're just saying it's not something for me, but it's fine. You do you. You do you.
Yeah, it's. I think it's actually quite a nice thing to say. Like, yeah, it's not my cup of tea, but I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. That kind of thing.
Exactly. Maybe if we're at a formal, fancy dinner, we're just thinking to ourselves, "This is not my cup of tea." You guys go ahead.
I'm pretty sure we're thinking to ourselves, "Free us! What are we
Yeah, it's a
doing
bit more
here?"
extreme. More extreme than not my cup.
Let me out.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and then Hal and I end up at the pub.
Exactly. Any other? I'm trying to think. How else do we use the word tea? Not my cup of tea. No, we just drink it a lot. Fancy a tea.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy a tea. Let's have a cup of tea.
We'll have a cup of tea. So, why don't we have a chat about the kind of tea that most typically you drink? So,
Me personally,
yeah, go ahead.
I love Earl Grey, black.
Me too.
Me too. Sometimes Lady Grey, which I think has like a slight kind of lemony hint. No, Lady Grey has like a slight fruitiness to it, which is also lovely. Chamomile. I love chamomile tea. And maybe I think that's probably it. I don't mind every now and then a proper, what we call in the UK, like a proper cup of tea or proper tea. So usually, I don't know if you say this as well, but if you're offering someone tea, you say, "Do you want a cup of tea, Kate?" And you say yes, and then usually the person says, "Do you want proper tea or some other thing like a fruit tea or chamomile?" And proper tea means like English breakfast tea. There we go. English breakfast.
There you go. English breakfast tea.
And there's also builder's tea, and builder's tea is a English breakfast tea with loads of milk and usually at least 2, probably 3 sugars. And we call it builder's tea because it's kind of joke is that it's what builders drink to keep them going during the day. On their tea break, they have a really strong cup of tea with loads of milk and loads of sugar. So that's builder's tea. But yeah, I love Earl Grey. No sugar, no milk.
Yeah, me too.
How about you? Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah,
really fruity ones can be a bit much sometimes. They're too.
I agree, and I think that it's just classic as well. It's I don't know, I just really enjoy it. Like, it's got such a nice flavor on its own. I generally like just drink when I drink tea. I just generally drink it without anything. I don't really add milk or sugar, because I don't know. I just like the flavor. But I will say that chamomile gives me a bit of Sorry, my cat wants up.
Oh, it's the star.
And then look, you can't see my feline, but he
Come on, Byron.
Yep. Here's Byron. Hold on. All right, boy. No, he wants in and he wants out, and he wants in and he wants out.
You can't make his mind up.
It's just like the UK and the European Union. They want in, they want out. They want in, they want out.
Oh gosh. What does chamomile do to you?
It makes me a little bit nauseous, actually, after the fact. It kind of upsets my stomach. It makes me a bit sad because I like it, but I can't really drink it. I like Earl Grey though, and I really like just a nice green tea sometimes. It's
yes, very kind of refreshing and healthy. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, I love it all really. I'd say in the UK, I have some friends who are, I don't know how to put it, a bit classier than me, as in literally a bit further up the class scale. And it's like a funny indicator to me is when somebody has like 20 teas in their house. It's usually a sign that they're quite bougie, that is quite posh, basically. I think that's a stereotype which probably holds. I wouldn't like to defend it in court, but the more teas you have in your house in the UK, because you can get really fancy teas these days, like, all like natural and in these incredible like bags that look beautiful and they smell beautiful. So you can get really fancy ones. But yeah, Earl Grey, it's enough.
Exactly. We're both Captain Picard from Star Trek. We just like our Earl Grey and stop. But
a joke. I don't know. I'd never seen Star Trek. Does he
Yeah.
drink Earl Grey?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's so
Yep.
interesting.
I'm
What
a big
funny
Star Trek nerd, actually.
Huh?
I'm a Star Trek nerd. I'm a Trekkie.
Wow, okay. And he drinks Earl Grey.
He does. He does. Okay, I can't say I'm a Trekkie because I'm not that into it. I didn't like the Next Generation so much, but I do love Deep Space Nine. I've only watched all 7 seasons twice. Anyway, so what was I going to say? Yeah, one thing that was a big indulgence for me when I lived in America on the East Coast, because I never saw this on the West Coast, but in the mall, they had this shop called Teavana, which of course is a pun on the nirvana, right? The idea, I believe, in Hinduism of heaven, which is a sort of reductive example. But anyway, so yeah, it had all of these fancy teas you were talking about, like biological and these beautiful bags, all these different types, and they smelled wonderful. And I used to love going there because I would walk out with like this giant, like massive shopping bags of tea. And I do miss that because it was really nice. But
there are some places in Bologna, you know. There are some fancy tea shops in Bologna. The other thing is that now in Italy, I never ever buy a tea out here because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
The opposite. In the UK, coffee is quite expensive, or at least a lot more expensive. But you can usually get a cup of tea for like £1.50, right? Sometimes less, 70p. Whereas in Italy, often if you get a tea, it's like really overpriced.
Yeah.
And the coffee is really cheap. So
you go for the coffee, yeah, exactly. Italian coffee culture.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. There we go.
So let's look over here. Da, 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 da. You ready, Hal? It's almost tea time.
Ooh, that's a nice clock, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I like that. I would have that in my house for sure.
Me too.
Is the tune set? What time is it? It's tea time. Okay. That was
great.
Anticlimactic. So anyway, match the words to the pictures.
Such a weird slide. Great, these pictures. Look at that. Wow, what an illustration. It looks kind of like 18th, 19th century now. Really fancy.
I like it.
Do you have a tea set at home? I don't have a tea set here.
I do. Okay. So another fact about my husband / I suppose also now me, is that when I met him, I was shocked to find that he collects British porcelain tea sets.
Wow.
Yeah. And in fact, him and his mother both really like it, and they love it. They like it so much that they would find retailers of antique sets of antique British tea sets that they would like deal with this shady character who would
black market tea set.
Yeah, who would show up with this, with his sack of porcelain goods and
have a look. Yeah.
Have a look. Yeah. Open the jacket to show all the teacups hanging.
A little hurt.
Yeah.
Inside the jacket. That's so good.
Oh,
Cute.
man.
Wow. So you have loads of them, I imagine.
I do, but we can only use like one because the rest are too precious to use, and so you know me. I'm like.
Do you know where they're from? Do you know anything about them, or are you just like not my cup of tea?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the. It's kind of not my cup of tea. I don't really know much. It's been explained to me. So if you ever come over sometime to my place in San Giovanni, I can show you, and then maybe if my husband's around, he'll be able to like give you proper context or whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about it either, other than Stoke. I know that Stoke is huge. Was not anymore, but was huge for like ceramics and stuff.
I'll send you like a message about it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
If you're interested.
I am. I don't have a tea set. No, I never usually have a tea set. I say that like, where's my tea set? Help. But, I do like having a teapot, which I guess is a way of segueing into this picture. So I like a teapot, but here I live alone, and I don't think anyone's ever visited me in this flat. So
Because
there's
I
no need for a
can't.
teapot. Huh?
It's because I can't.
Yeah. But if you did, I would love to have a teapot because I think there's something very nice about brewing a teapot.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I'm writing or working, I do quite like to have it, but then I just drink like constantly. It's like having a drip attached to me where I'm just
tea. Yeah.
Which probably isn't the best thing. I don't know.
It's not healthy. Yeah, but one of the things I'd love to do when we are free is to pop by and like peruse your book selection, and maybe you can put the kettle on, and we can then afterward go out for a drink or something.
That would be wonderful.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited. Oh my god, the cat! Get away from that curtain. He's trying to pull down the window curtains. Okay, hold on. I'll
start talking about the vocab. So we have here tea tray, teacup, teapot, creamer, which honestly sounds horrible to me. There he is. Oh, baby. Hello. Sugar bowl, saucer, and tongs. What a fun word to say, tongs. Tongs. Have you got the tongs? Yeah, this is a really fancy tea set. I would say I've never seen one like this, but usually afternoon tea you will at least have a cup and a saucer, and a pot.
Exactly, a cup and a saucer, a cup and a pot. There's a tray here and tongs for the sugar cubes, but then you need a sugar pot or sugar bowl, and I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot to worry about, but let's match. So let's start with tea tray. Which one is it? Which one is it? If you're watching us, let us know in the comments, or how.
So a tray is the thing you carry stuff on, right? Like a waiter walks around with the tray in their hand like this, or like this. When I was at school, the most embarrassing thing that you could do was drop your lunch tray in the lunch hole. Everyone would scream at you. Yeah. So F is the tea tray. Yeah.
Good. It's really cool. That's so funny. You have so many fantastic stories. I love it.
It was not kind of weird. Then we have cup. This makes me think of Beauty and the Beast as well. You know, all the singing.
Yeah, the singing teacup.
The singing teacup is the child of the teapot.
Yeah.
Who sings the main song, but I can't remember her name. Is it Mrs. Pot? Am I being no? She's not called Mrs. Pot. That would be really funny.
And Mrs. Potts is the teapot. Yeah, Mrs. Potts is the teapot. But I can't remember the name of the cup.
Not Mrs. Pot. That would be a different thing. Mrs. Potts. Yeah. Teacup.
So
we have teacup is A. Your finger like this.
That's right. Pinky out. No, don't do that. No. So we have the teapot.
The teapot, which I spoke about. I love a teapot. It's E. Yeah. They're just lovely on a cold day. You can warm your hands on them as well. Really satisfying.
I think I have quite a fancy teapot. Hold on while I.
Okay, great. And then we have creamer, which is, creamer we don't really use day to day, I would say. That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
And this is the teapot I'm allowed to use. So
I can only imagine the others.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh dear.
It's a satisfying sound as well. You can tell it's really robust.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful. Where's it from? Do you know? Does it have a mark on the bottom?
Yes, it is. Hold on, I'm just coming back. It is a Winterling Bavaria.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything to me, but that's
Yeah, me either.
Winterling
great, though.
Bavaria. Wow.
Anyway.
I'm afraid, yeah, I don't have anything here.
Okay. For the.
Wow. I just looked up the whole set and it's amazing. Winterling Bavaria. Beautiful.
Here's also one of the other pieces. This would be the I believe the sugar bowl. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
Do you
Sorry.
have a creamer?
Do I? Let me see.
Like a little jug. I wouldn't call it a creamer. I would call it a jug, like a small jug. But
I don't, at least not that I can see, but the teacups for this set, at least, this is the cup. So this is what the cup is.
Wow. That is beautiful. I love mugs or cups that have a wide brim.
Me too.
Like that. I feel like it's so much more satisfying, and you can see the tea, and it cools a bit quicker in a nice way.
Yes.
I don't like narrow cups at all.
Yes. So I'm showing off my tea set. I have very few occasions to brag about it. So.
Okay, this is it. Look at that. What are we? Teapot is B. Creamer is B, this thing that you put the cream in.
We can also call it a carafe. So, you know, the small carafe is like small jug that contains liquid you pour. Okay. And the pronunciation is carafe. Small jug.
Carafe. Oh. Yeah, well, I would say jug.
You pour.
I don't often come across a creamer, so next time.
Yeah. Okay, it's usually got a handle, a carafe. Good. And yeah, so you can also call it a creamer, but it's a jug. Yeah. I showed you my sugar bowl, and that one is
C.
Good. And of course, saucer. What is a saucer, Hal?
D. It's the thing that the cup goes on. Cup and saucer, cup and saucer, cup and saucer. Yeah.
Ta-da!
Like a small dish, I guess.
Yeah, a small dish.
Tongs.
I think I might also have tongs. Hold on.
Tongs.
No, I don't have any tongs. Wait,
do you have tongs?
Yes, somewhere. Okay, well, it's not worth making all anyways, but yeah, I have tongs somewhere.
Tongs, but tongs also more generally just anything that shape, right? Like at a barbecue, you have tongs to move things on the barbecue. Trying to think.
You can also use it to, like, if you're doing specific baked dishes as well, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You need tongs.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so tongs are these instruments here, G, where you can squeeze them and use them to lift or move different things. Hal, look at the time.
I know, right? 1:30. Tongs make me think of dentists as well.
Those are pliers.
Yeah, I know they are pliers, but that's where my mind went. Tongs, pliers, dentists.
It's horrifying. Okay, so
great.
That's
why I have sugar in my tea.
Let's do a quick review of everything. So, what does it mean to be the odd man out? It means that you are the person that does not fit with your setting. Very similar to fish out of water. When you feel out of place and perhaps you don't belong. And alien, if something is alien, okay, there's also a noun like the aliens from Independence Day, or the X-Force. But something can be alien as an adjective, and it means that it's very unfamiliar for you personally. It's not my cup of tea when something is okay objectively, but you're not really interested personally, so it's a polite thing to say. And a carafe is something that contains liquid that you pour.
Great.
All right,
Well, that
guys.
was fun.
It
Thanks
was
for watching if you did watch. Sorry we didn't hear from you, but that's okay.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And in 10 minutes, there will be another webinar here on this channel, not with us, but it will also be 10 to 13. And so enjoy, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a great afternoon.